You're watching 11 Alive Morning News. 11 minutes of nonstop news starts now.
Thanks for staying with 11 Alive Morning News. It is Wednesday, October 25th. Time now is 6:47.
For the next 11 minutes, only on 11 Alive, we will have nonstop coverage of everything you need to know to plan your day. The fight continues. Despite the ruling from the state Supreme Court upholding Georgia's abortion ban, activists say they are not done.
DeKalb's animal shelter is beyond capacity and running out of options. What one commissioner is now asking for. We kick off your 11 minutes of nonstop news with an investigation into the treatment of foster children in Georgia and across the country.
Right now, there are more than 11,000 kids in Georgia's foster care system. And today, Senator Jon Ossoff will lead a hearing focused on improving safety measures.
Liza Lucas joins us now in studio with more. Liza, Senator Ossoff says Georgia really needs to do better for these children. What are we expecting today?
Cheryl and Christy, today's hearing will focus on the personal stories of former foster children and families, as well as expert testimony. The hearing follows an inquiry Senator Ossoff launched earlier this year, a response in part to local media investigations. Now, the senator releasing a statement saying in part, quote, foster care is meant to provide sanctuary for our most vulnerable children. He says today will focus on those who, quote, have suffered grievously from systemic failures and include experts as well to, quote, shed light on necessary reform. Now, advocate Polly McKinney with Voices for Georgia's Children, she spoke with me about what she will be listening for.
I believe that there are things that work very well in the system, and there are a lot of things that could be fixed. And so what I'm hoping to hear is real lived experience and truth from all sides.
McKinney says it is progress, that we are all talking about this, adding it's not just one agency, but a multi-agency issue. DHS tells me the commissioner has declined comment ahead of today's hearing. Testimony again set to start at 2:30 on Capitol Hill.
This is Jerry Carnes. The fight over Georgia's controversial abortion law goes from the Georgia Supreme Court to a Fulton County courtroom. In a 6-1 vote, the state Supreme Court rejected Fulton County Judge Robert McBurney's ruling that said Georgia's abortion law is unconstitutional. The case now goes back to Judge McBurney, who has yet to hear all arguments from lawyers for the ACLU who filed a lawsuit challenging the law. That law bans abortions in Georgia after 6 weeks of pregnancy. Pro-life advocates are celebrating the victory, the ruling from the Supreme Court, and vow to keep fighting to keep the law intact. Some Georgia lawmakers are pushing for a referendum to allow voters in Georgia to weigh in on the matter.
Continuing your 11 minutes of nonstop news in DeKalb County, a national nonprofit law firm is questioning an ordinance requiring gas stations and convenience stores to have very specific surveillance cameras. The county is threatening not to renew business licenses if the cameras are not installed. Jaron McLean with the Institute for Justice says it's unconstitutional because it requires businesses to voluntarily turn over that video to police without a warrant. He has seen similar laws in other states and cities and says they violate the Fourth Amendment. He also says it violates the business property rights by forcing them to install those devices at their own expense.
If business owners within the county want to stand up and protect their rights, then the Institute for Justice would be more than willing to bring a lawsuit on their behalf.
The new requirements went into effect June 30th with a deadline to have everything up and running by the new year. As of earlier this month, more than 200 locations in unincorporated DeKalb County are not compliant. That was a look at your top headlines.
All right, good morning, Chesley. Maybe grab a little jacket on the way out the door.
You're going to need that. You're going to need that, Cheryl, because temperatures are down into the 30s up here to the north, as you can see in the North Georgia mountains. Even the 40s just about everywhere else you look. Got some 50s sprinkled in here as well. Like Canton, you're at 50. 50 also in Dalton. 54 degrees right now in the city of Atlanta. That is the warm spot. 48, Athens over toward Duluth and Gainesville. Again, those 30s up there to the north. Clayton at 34 degrees starting off this morning. That's closer to the freezing mark. For the rest of us, light sweater, light jacket will do you for this morning. By this afternoon, you may want to open that up a little bit, maybe unzip it. You're looking at 75 degrees for an afternoon high. Going to call that a mild day. There will be a few extra clouds rolling into the area as we head into the afternoon today. So we'll wind up mostly to partly sunny skies today. It's very dry around here. This is the latest drought monitor. Comes out again tomorrow. We're probably going to see where you see this gold or this darker brown starting to spread a little further over toward the east. And even where we have that yellow, which is abnormally dry over the metro, I think this tan area will start to slide a little bit further down to the south as well. Dry. has been dry, and it's going to continue over the next couple of days. As you can see, the rain not headed in our direction. It's off to the west of us, but it's heading up to the north around an area of high pressure that has been dominant in our area the last couple of days. So we've been enjoying some mild weather, but we really could use some of that rain. Notice the easterly wind or the easterly flow around this area of high pressure, creating a wind for us about 10 miles per hour or less for today. That will continue to slide over toward the east, and we'll get back into a southerly flow, which will help to boost our temperatures up a little bit over the next couple of days. The mild air stays up and down in the eastern seaboard, so if you have travel plans this weekend, know that we'll be on the mild side. Warm for us as our temperatures will be approaching that 80-degree mark, especially as we head into the upcoming weekend. Forecast track model shows the clear skies or fair skies starting off this morning, but by the time we get to the afternoon, that's when we'll start to see some of those clouds beginning to push further into our area. We're going to wind up with partly sunny skies for much of the day. We'll do it again for Thursday, even into Friday. You're looking at partly sunny skies. Partly to mostly sunny skies will be the call, but no rain coming out of those clouds at all. Again, temperatures will be warming up into the upper 70s for the next 2 days. 80s by the time we hit the weekend. As we head into next week, Monday, you're looking at 80 degrees, but we have a front coming through just in time for Halloween to cool us back down into the low 70s with only a slight chance for an isolated shower or two. If we see it at all, it'll be mainly during the morning. Fine for your trick-or-treating in the afternoon.
We continue our 11 minutes of nonstop news now in Gwinnett County. We're hearing from the father mourning the loss of his 5-year-old son. Police say the little boy's mother took his life weeks before his birthday.
He was very energetic. Like, he just loved life. He loved to play. He loved his mom. He loved his dad. He loved his brother.
Javian Pruitt was set to go on a trip with his dad to celebrate turning 6. Police say his mother, Azaria Burton, allegedly stabbed him to death and set their Gwinnett County apartment on fire. She's now facing charges including felony murder. This morning, crews are searching thousands of square miles off the Georgia coast. 3 commercial fishermen have been missing now for 11 days. The search started when the boat didn't return on schedule. Nobody's heard from the fishermen since October 14th when they left. A live look now from Capitol Hill. Today, the House is set to meet to vote on the latest Republican trying to be House Speaker. Representative Mike Johnson of Louisiana is the GOP's new Speaker designee. While you were sleeping, he told reporters that he is, quote, very confident that he'll be confirmed today. We are now at 21 days with no House Speaker. The Today Show picks up our coverage on this right after your 11 minutes of nonstop news.
We continue your 11 minutes of nonstop news. Back here at home in DeKalb County, there are calls for the county's animal shelter to commit to a no-kill policy. It comes as a dire situation with overcrowding there. The shelter has around 600 animals in its care, but they have to get that number down to about 415. Recent data shows while the shelter can house 400 animals, it has been dealing with 4 times that amount. The severe overcrowding pushed Commissioner Ted Terry to introduce a resolution during Tuesday's meeting to commit to a no-kill shelter policy. It's an idea that has gotten overwhelming community support.
Lifeline's mission is to end the shelter euthanasia of healthy and treatable animals. To have animals come in that we can't save. But now we're faced with a situation that animals that could have been saved at one point have run out of time, space, and resource.
Lifeline Animal Project CEO Rebecca Gwynn, who you just heard from, says 21 animals would have to leave the shelter every day to get their population in check.
It's finally here. This morning we are diving into the dishes and restaurants that made it onto Atlanta's first Michelin Guide selection, which is one of the highest honors in the culinary world. So first up, let's talk about the stars. In total, 5 restaurants received 1 out of 3 Michelin stars. Those restaurants are Atlas, Bacchanalia, Hayakawa, Lazy Betty, and Mujo. Next up, green stars, places with the best sustainable practices. They are Bacchanalia and the Chastain. Lastly, Bib Gourmand distinction for spots with great food at a great value. These 10 restaurants you see received the honor. We also have this list for you on 11alive.com.
Well, we are looking at by noon today, temperatures right around 67 degrees, on our way to 75 for an afternoon mile high. It's going to be nice out there, even though a few more clouds will move into the area. By 6, we'll be down to 73 degrees. By 7, temperatures right around 70.
All right, a slow go out there. Thanks for watching that crash. He'll have a little bit more in just a little bit. For now, we send it over to today's show. Easy for me to say. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning. The Today Show. Have a good